गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन ब्रज जनरंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रज जनरंजन यमुना तीरा वनचारी यमुना तीरा वनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे जय राधा माधव जय राधा माधव जय राधा माधव जय राधा माधव जय गाओ राधा माधव जय प्रभुपाद जय प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। ग्रंथराज भगवद गीता की जय। समवेत भक्तवृंद की जय। ओम ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितां येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषाभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। नमो ब्रह्मण्यदेवाय गोब्राह्मणहिताय च जगद्धिताय कृष्णाय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। प्लीज रिपीट आफ्टर मी। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Narang Chaiva Narottamam Deving Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavat Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtiki. Welcome to tonight's Bhagavad Gita class. We're reading from the 11th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Anybody needs a translation? आपको अनुवाद चाहिए? No, you can speak English. Okay, very good. Very good. You're from? Bangladesh. Bangladeshi? Yes. Okay. সব কিছু ভালো আছেন? হ্যাঁ, ভালো আছে। আমি ভাবছিলাম আপনি বাংলা বলেন। কারণ আপনার pronunciation তারপরে হচ্ছিল। যশোদা বলছিলেন তখনই। Okay. আমি ভেবেছিলাম হয়তোবা যশোদা বলবেন। পরে যশোদা শুনে বুঝতে পেরেছি আপনি। আচ্ছা আচ্ছা। ঠিক আছে। আমি মায়াপুরে থাকেছিলাম 7 বছর। ওখানে আমি বাংলা শিখেছি। So we are reading from the 11th chapter entitled The Universal Form, and the text is many. No. You sure? Is it? Oh, yes. Because there is no purport, we read on. Yeah, you're right. That's why. I didn't prepare for that verse. I was saying, how is this? No, I read over it because there's no purport. Yeah. But we can do 9. Yeah? We should do 9? Yes, we got it now. Yeah, okay, we do 9. It's coming? Yeah. Okay. So please repeat. Sanjaya Uvacha Evam Uktva Tato Rajan Evam Uktva Tato Rajan Mahayogeshwaro Harihi Darshayam Asa Parthaya Paramam Rupamaishwaram Sanjaya Uvacha Evam Uktva Tato Rajan Mahayogeshwaro Harihi Darshayam Asa Parthaya Paramam Rupamaishwaram. Please chant. Sanjaya Uvacha Mukta Tato Rajan Mahayogeshwaro Harihi Darshayamasa Parthaya Sanjaya Uvacha Evam Uktva Tato Rajan Mahayogeshwaro Harihi Darshayam Asa Parthaya Paramam Rupamaishwaram. Try. Sanjaya Uvacha Evam Uktva Tato Rajan Mahayogeshwaro Harihi Darshayam Asa Parthaya Paramam Rupamaishwaram. Want to try? They'll read the Devanagari. Jane na? Try. Sanjaya Uvacha Evam Uktva Tato Rajan Mahayogeshwaro Harihi Darshayam Asa Parthaya Paramam Rupamaishwaram. Word by word. Sanjaya Uvacha. Sanjaya said, Evam, thus, Uktva, saying, Tataha, thereafter. Rajan, O king, Mahayoga Ishvaraha, the most powerful mystic, Harihi, the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, Darshayamasa, showed, Parthaya, unto Arjun, Paramam, the divine, Rupam Aishwaram, universal form. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Sanjaya said, O king, having spoken thus, the Supreme Lord of all mystic power, the personality of Godhead, displayed his universal form to Arjun. Then it goes on, text 10 and 11. Arjuna saw in that universal form unlimited mouths, unlimited eyes, unlimited wonderful visions. The form was decorated with many celestial ornaments and bore many divine upraised weapons. He wore celestial garlands and garments, and many divine scents were smeared all over his body. All was wondrous, brilliant, unlimited, and all expanding. Purport. In these two verses, the repeated use of the words many indicates that there were no limit to the number of hands, mouths, legs, and other manifestations Arjuna was seeing. These manifestations were distributed throughout the universe by the grace of the Lord. Arjuna could see them while sitting in one place. That was due to the inconceivable potency of Krishna. Mukam karoti vachalang pangum langhayate girim yat kripatamaham vande Shri Gurun dinatarinam. So, we have already started exploring different aspects of the Virata Rupa, the universal form of Lord Krishna, as he showed it to Arjun on the battle of Kurukshetra. And as a matter of fact, we are exploring the different levels of consciousness because the external manifestation is based on consciousness. Just as you and I sitting here, we are not just the gross body. There is the mind that is inside, and inside the mind is the Atman. So, what is more important than the body? The Atman is more important. So therefore, one finds in the description of the Virata Rupa that describing so many wondrous things, helmets, arms, weapons, all these things are there, but just like we saw yesterday, it is not just by meditation and looking with the mind that one can see the universal form. As we have seen, I repeat again that the story of the spiritual world, it is said that there is a spiritual sky which is named Paravyoma. You can understand English? Okay, very good. There is a spiritual sky named Paravyoma. Para means transcendental and Vyoma means sky. And that sky is not dark like at night. If you look in the sky, there is only darkness and there are some stars which are twinkling. That sky is different. It is full of light all the time. And within that light, in that sky, there are millions of planets floating. And they're also luminous. There are the Vaikuntha planets. They are not made out of earth, water, fire, air, or ether like this universe is. They're made out of Atma. Atma and consciousness, these planets. And because the Atma is eternal, consciousness is eternal, these planets are also eternal. Among those multifarious planets there, different colors, different shapes. It can also change color just like we have here, a Vaikuntha planet. Anybody knows which planet that is, which you can see with the naked eye in the night? Very good. It's the pole star. The pole star, Dhruvaloka, is a Vaikuntha planet which you can see with your naked eye. So if seeing is believing, then there is no doubt that Vaikuntha exists or not. And guess what? It is changing color. It is always shiny, it's always twinkling, twinkle, twinkle, little star. It is the planet of the Paramatma. Kshirodakasaya Vishnu is residing there. And guess, that form of Lord Vishnu is not dark blue. It is white like milk. It's a white Vishnu with 4 arms, reddish hands, and is lying on Ananta Sesha. And also Ananta Sesha has a white stomach. He might have different color, but he has a white stomach. And there he's lying, and he's supervising everything within the universe. He expands, he reflects within all the different atoms, within all the hearts of different creatures, and he is guiding everyone as Paramatma in the heart. That is one Vishnu. Because he's one, the Paramatma and everyone is the same. Now, according to your bhava, Madhvacharya says nicely, jivas, if they like, they can have Paramatma in feminine form. If you're very attached to a certain form, like you are very attached to Lakshmi Devi, then Paramatma can take up that form also. Madhvacharya describes Paramatma can take up feminine forms. Or some people are very attached to Narayani. Narayani is a form of Devi. And Narayani indicates that she is the sister of Narayana. So she can take up the role of guiding. That is also possible. It's very great. So, in that spiritual sky with many, many planets, there is a planet which is floating and it looks like a lotus. We have not seen any planet here looking like a lotus. We have seen a planet which looks like a discus, the Saturn planet. It's a little bit different than other planets, but that's the most beautiful thing we've experienced in this material world. But in that sky, there is a planet which looks like a lotus. It has petals. It can shrink and it can unfold. So, as Einstein had discovered, space is not like this floor, You can't bend it, it will crack, whatever. No. Space is bendable. Space can shrink, space can extend. So if you want to go from one place to another, then you can wait for the space to shrink, and you can easily go there. Because when it's expanded, it takes more time to travel from there to there. But when it comes together, so that planet has all these mystical aspects. It's called Goloka Dham, the Goloka planet, where Lord Krishna resides and has eternal pastimes with Shrimati Radharani and the gopis, Mother Yashoda. At that planet, it's made full of Atma, and it's special among all the planets of Vaikuntha, because in Vaikuntha, you find Maryada Bhakti. What is Maryada Bhakti? It is Bhakti, it's pure Bhakti, but there are some limitations. Narayana is sitting on a throne, and he's the Lord and Master. But in Golokadham, Krishna is not sitting on a throne. He's a young boy. You can catch him, you can embrace him, you can kiss him, but you cannot do that with Lord Narayan sitting on the throne in Vaikuntha. So there is some maryada there, some etiquettes you have to follow. Now, the acharyas explain, our acharyas are all from Golok, that's the thing, that we will glorify our planet. We are always glorifying Goloka because we are from Golok. We are Goloka people. So we always glorify how nice it is that he wants to have a fight, sometimes he wants to do some workout, jogging, boxing. Nobody is to be found in Vaikuntha. Everyone is worshipping him. Narayanas Namastubhyam, 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 Shantakaram, Bhujagashayanam, Padmanabham, Suresham. All these people offering mantras all the time. When Narayan feels, I want to do some workout. So then he makes an arrangement that in the next avatar he comes, some demons are coming. Jai Vijay, the door gatekeepers. Generally, strong people were chosen to be Dwarpalas, door gatekeepers. So he arranges for them to be cursed and come down to the material world as Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu, as Ravana and Kumbhakarna, as Shishupala and Dantavakra, so that Vishnu can have some nice fight, which is not possible in Vaikuntha. But in Goloka, Krishna can fight all the time if he likes with the Gwalas, and he gets defeated also, right? And when he gets defeated, then he walks around with a hanging face, and the Gwalas say, become a horse because you are defeated. And the bet was, if you get defeated, you have to carry the other one on your back. He said, no, I won't do that. You have to, and they force him. And then so wrestling starts. And then in this way, Krishna doesn't have to come down to this material world to have some exercise, some leelas. He's fully satisfied there. So that is the speciality of that Goloka planet. All different tastes, different rasas are possible there. Whereas in Vaikuntha, there is some mix of Maryada. But both are in the transcendental liberated realm. Now, within that same sky, Paravyoma, there are floating one big, like soap bell, You know what is soap bell? If you go to Mama's kitchen, and then she has soap there, and you put a little, let's say, little ring in the soap, and take it out, do like, then a big soap bell comes, isn't it? You might have seen that. So a soap bell is a miniature form actually of a river, which is like 3D. It's made of soap here, but you can have it like water. So it's a three-dimensional river. It's called the Viraja River. It is surrounding, but it's inside that soap bell is the entire material world is in there. Full sansar is in there. Now, in order to visualize, I give you this analogy of a soap bell. And as I recall, when I was a little kid, then there were games and there were competitions of who can blow the biggest soap bell. You know? And people came. They had some artistic people who didn't just blow into the bell. They had a little pipe in which they would smoke. They would first smoke with the cigarette and then blow in the pipe, that soap bell, and then within the soap bell you saw smoke. It used to float. These are like small games I saw. So I visualize it. You can give an analogy like that. That in the sky illumination, there is a smoky cloud, a little bit dark, which is surrounded by water, and it is floating in there. Now that water is huge. It's called the Bhavsagar. It's an ocean. If you cross that, then you enter into the material nature. And if you cross it the opposite way, you enter into Vaikuntha Loka. So that is the actual, what we call the Bhavasagar, the ocean of birth and death, because within that bell, there is the material creation. In that bell, there is a huge amount of water in which the original Mahavishnu is lying. And he's there in Yoga Nidra. And it's very special. It's a mystical place. And those who belong, of those who come to this world, from the angle of existence, we belong to that realm, the Tatastha realm. One side is transcendental Vaikuntha, and the other side is Devidham, this material world. And we're coming from that border energy. So if somebody is very curious, wants to know what is that bell, what is that cloud in the sky, he can go there, and jivas do that. Everyone who went into that sky is sitting now here in this temple. All of you, including me, we wanted to know what is there, that mystical cloud, darkish. And when we entered there, we became very tired. We fell asleep, deep sleep. Because Mahavishnu is creating that state of consciousness of Sushupti, deep sleep. In deep sleep, you can only feel. You can only have some feeling of happiness. Because when you're sleeping, you go in deep sleep without dreams. When you wake up, you say, oh, I had a nice sleep. I had no dreams. I'm very nicely rested, right? It's deep sleep. That consciousness, that ability is created by this Mahavishnu. And as we're sitting here with our eyes open, in the Jagran world, you're all awake, right? You're not sleeping. Jagran means your awake state. That consciousness of deep sleep, you have pushed back, subconsciousness. But it is still active. Why? You can analyze. In that state of consciousness of deep sleep, you can't see anything. You can't smell anything. You can't hear anything. But you know that you are there. There is some feeling. There's some deep feeling of peace. And with feeling of peace, you can also derive knowledge. Generally, we don't learn this in school. We learn by your intelligence, by your mind, you derive knowledge. Knowledge by the senses. Now, the mind also has senses. If the mind would not have senses, your senses would not work. Your eyes could not work if it is not connected to your mind. Your mouth cannot work if it is not connected to the senses of the subtle body, of the mind, to the mind. Like that. Sometimes you see somebody is just looking like this. I say, hey, wake up. Oh, yes. Why is that? He's looking in a certain direction, but he's not seeing that object because his mind is somewhere else. Isn't it? Only when the mind is also there, where the sense is going, then you can only observe. Right? They call that daydreaming. And guess what? That's the natural process which we call yoga meditation. Everyone does it, but they're not aware of it. Staring is meditation. You're looking at that door handle of the door. You don't see the door handle. You see something else is going on. You're traveling with the mind here and there. These are the first steps of meditation. You see, it should not happen during your japa. That's not. But like for example's sake, so in a deep state, in a state when there is no mind, because in deep sleep there is no mind, and there is also no senses, you can only feel. The senses are not active in deep sleep. But you can derive knowledge from deep sleep, from feeling also. Like sometimes you travel somewhere. I had that when I came to Banaras first time. I sat in a rickshaw, going to Sankatamochan Hanuman, or going to the Parvati temple. And I had a feeling that in this life I have never been there, but after this corner, there will be some greenish building coming. And it will look like a medieval Indian building with nice domes and like the like the Rajput architecture, Jaipuri architecture. And yes, it came, right? I couldn't visualize it, but I felt it. There must be something. So what is this? This is the susupti level of consciousness which works in you. It communicates through feeling. And there is no visualization of anything because that's not possible in deep sleep. So that's interesting that you know, but you can't visualize, you can't put any smell towards that, you cannot put any picture, but you know it is there. And sometimes we have this argument. No, I'm sure it is like this. Well, then tell how it is. Because in this world, we want to have everything as visual evidence, right? You already know it is like this, but then, or like, the police already knows he's a culprit and should be hanged. But no, there has to be physical evidence. There has to be a court case. There have to be lawyers. Because those who cannot feel, who cannot learn by feeling, they need physical evidence, right? Physical evidence. They call it hard evidence. Okay. So that's one level of consciousness which we experience. So now you know where it's coming from. Interestingly enough, the next stage of consciousness, because Mahavishnu lying there in deep sleep, he is sleeping from the external point of view, but it is in yoga nidra. That nidra, that sleep, is not like we are sleeping, helplessly under the influence of Maya. No, it is controlled sleep. It's called yoga nidra. Means he's very much focused in a state of consciousness, and he has to also. Because if there were no deep sleep, state of consciousness, then all the jivas coming from Vaikuntha and Golok, they could not have a covered consciousness. The consciousness has to be covered. Otherwise, you cannot enjoy this world. If you know, I don't belong here, I belong there, then everything here looks like, what is the use? What is the use of working here? And then in India, they say, Are sadhu ho gaya re. He has become a sadhu, completely detached. He doesn't care for this world. Why does he don't care for it? Now he cares for that world where he came from, Vaikuntha, Goloka. Bekar. They think, you cannot do anything with him anymore. This is the case with the Indians, unfortunately. But in the West, they say, what is that? Let me discover all that. So, therefore, that consciousness has to be covered. It has to be covered in a layer of ego. Ego is like a glue. In India, you have Fevicol. I don't know what kind of call you have here. How are the calls here? The glues. Names of glues. Mention something. You never use glue? Ego is like glue. It sticks your gross body to your Atma. Right? And this glue has three aspects. Ego, intelligence, and mind. Ego, material mind, and material intelligence. It's like a glue. Because the second state, Mahavishnu, he creates all these universes from his pores, which look like golden eggs. And they float in the causal ocean. The ocean is like waterish, but it's transcendental. And time starts there. Everything starts from the causal ocean. Everything from this material world has a cause. And the cause is found in that ocean. Now, when an egg is ripening, the thickness of the egg is going towards its inside. It's not that the egg is becoming bigger. You might have observed it when a bird lays an egg. The size remains the same, but inside something is happening. Inside this egg, different layers are made of earth, water, fire, air, ether. And then deep inside is what we call the empty universe, but it's not empty. These 7 layers of the universal shells are 7 dimensions of existence. So like that, when the universe is ready for jivas to be inhabited, then Mahavishnu projects all the jivas into these universes. And he enters in the form of Shambhu, of Lord Shiva, coming from the third eye of Mahavishnu. He goes there along with Vishnu, and then that Vishnu who entered every universe is called Garbhodakasai Vishnu. The Vishnu who lies on an ocean of uh, uh, Garbha water, means like water which is the origin of everything which takes birth. The ocean of birth, you can say, Garbhodakasai. And when he lies there, all the jivas are in his body and they push in his navel and a lotus comes out. Like I mentioned the other day, with humans, the lotus is pushed inside, right, in the nabhi. Because the nabhi is from one life to another, a connection, umbilical cord. It connects lives to different lives, like that. And with humans, the lotus grows inside. So the umbilical thing and all this placenta is all there inside. And then the child is coming out in another way. But in Devaloka, the species of Devatas and higher species, that lotus comes out of the stomach. So there's no need for an internal womb. The womb is outside. And Vishnu is following that principle. Then the umbilical cord grows because jivas are pushing. They want to take birth. They have desires to be fulfilled and they don't get any body yet. So they need a gross body. So then it comes out and it unfolds. And within that lotus is situated Brahma with 4 heads. He's the original father. He's going to give everyone a subtle body, a body made of false ego, intelligence, and mind. And he also gives the blueprint according to your desire. So there jivas are being awakened. In the Garbha ocean, jivas become awakened. And they wait for that time till Brahma has created a residence for everyone. And guess where the residences are? They are in the umbilical cord. The 14 planetary systems are in the umbilical cord. And that's what scientists are seeing actually. They're not seeing a big bang. They see something is coming from a singular point. Well, it's the umbilical cord in which the 14 planetary systems are expanding. And therefore we see many of the theories, either they got it from our books, but they don't say it, or they must be having it derived from some mystical person who might have seen all that. So that idea that there is a redshift you find in space, the redshift means if a system planet is traveling away from you, then the waves of light are extended, means a lower frequency. And a lower frequency in light is red, and a higher frequency in light is ultraviolet. So you find these kind of observations in space, but the Bhagavatam explains it is coming from the umbilical cord, the stem of the lotus, 14 planetary systems. So when these are made ready, then Brahma creates the bodies, the glue, because without this glue, you cannot make the body function properly. You need a software to operate a hardware. So Brahma is creating the software and all the patterns. So maybe Brahma was the original IIT man who created all of this. Isn't it? He's brilliant. He's programmed everything. And then the final Vishnu, Kshirodgasai Vishnu, he operates all the atoms and he also guides the jivas in the heart. So Brahma has some help. He has his sons called the Prajapatis. And these Prajapatis, they are the progenitors of mankind, humankind. Manu is one of them, Manu Maharaj, and Satrupa, his wife. Then you have Kardama is a Prajapati, Kashyapa is a Prajapati, Marichi, Atri, Devala, Bharadwaj later also got his own Gotra. And they start the human species. As a matter of fact, later another Prajapati came, which are not mentioned so much in the Vedas. His name is Adam. Therefore, we have this term called Adami, coming from Adam and Eve. They started around 5,000 years ago, and they came from a rishi named Vishnu Kardam, who created Adam from a fire sacrifice, according to Bhavishya Puran. So Bhavishya Puran was written at the time when 5,000 years ago was still future, right? That was called Bhavishya Puran, the Puran of the future. Now it's not future anymore. So they have a race coming from this Adam and Havya, and they think that the world started around that time, which is not very correct. The earth is much older. And we find also in archaeological surveys that, yes, the earth is 4.3 billion years old. And guess, that is the exact date which we find in the scriptures also. One day of Brahma, then it lasts like that. There are many, many cycles of the creation. But after one day of Brahma, when he goes to sleep, there is a partial destruction. So then the earth is renewed and things like that are there. So, interestingly enough, These states of consciousness, wake, dreaming, deep sleep. The fourth one, Turiya consciousness, doesn't have to be that mystical. It is your consciousness which you had before you entered that soap bell. Remember? That was your consciousness, your original consciousness, your original love of Atma with any form of Paramatma. Can be Ramji, Ramji is very popular. Can be Krishna, Krishna is very popular. There are other forms also, Hayagriva, Sankarshan, Varaha, Matsya, all forms of Vishnu. So your original relationship was there. Now it's being covered. And now you try to make a relationship with Maya. You want to enjoy this world. But then there's so much frustration because everything is being destroyed, created, maintained, and destroyed. This is the samsara chakra. All the time things get renewed and they're maintained and they're destroyed. When you build something, like you build a nice building, you say, now I'm finished. No, you're not finished building. Now you have to put in a lot of money for maintenance, right? And even if you want to destroy it, like nowadays, I don't know if you have it in Germany, but in Holland, if you want to dispose of your electronics, you have to pay money. You cannot just throw it on the street. Really, no. You have to pay because they're going to grind that electronics, into plastic powder. They take out the gold and all the silver, whatever is their platinum, and they enjoy all that. And then it is grinded, and it goes through some process. It becomes plastic again, and then new electronics are made. So therefore, they need money. They need your money, even if you want to dispose of something. You can't throw it like in India on the street. Everyone throws there and this attitude. You can't do it here. The government gets you and put you in jail. Pan is not allowed here. Anyway, here the nastiness is chewing gum. The same thing as pan in India. Everywhere. Recall when you were in school, if you would you wouldn't like to touch the below the desk what is sticking there. Sometimes by chance it was like, ooh, yucky. Chewing gum is here the same the same like source of ridicule as in India's pan. Anyway, it is there, and maybe it's a little more harmful because pan you can wipe out with water, but chewing gum not. It stays there sometimes a whole year, 2 years, and then school pan. You graduate next class. You don't want to know it's there. Don't touch. So that's the culprit in the West, chewing gum. Okay. So where was I? We were describing here then how the material nature is made. And interestingly enough, there is a whole description in the Bhagavatam in how these 14 planetary systems look like and who lives there. Yesterday I started describing the talas, the regions below the earth. Atal, Vital, Sutal, Talatal, Rasatal, and Patal. You want to hear about that? Or you want to hear about the higher beings above the earth? Let's read some section of the different... today we're going to see, because Krishna is mentioning of Arjuna saw many mouths, unlimited arms. Why is Krishna showing all this? Why many arms and heads, as we read? It symbolizes, it's not the symbolism, but it is actually like that, but the meaning is that his hands are everywhere in the whole creation. And your duty as a human is to find how Krishna's hand is in everything. He has heads everywhere. He sees everything. Even what you try to hide, he sees. He can hear everything with his thousands of ears. And guess what? He's in every species. He mentioned that in the previous chapter. Among the animals, I am the lion, the superlative. Among the mountains, I am Meru. Among those immovables, I am the Himalayas. So he's there. And now he's going to show all that. That means in every species, Lord Krishna is manifesting. And in that Virat form, he's showing many heads of different species, like the Kinnaras. Let's see what the Kinnara is. From the description in this verse, this is from the Srimad Bhagavatam 4th canto. From the description in this verse, Garuda appears to belong to the Kinnara planet. So there is a Kinnara planet in the universe. Okay? It comes from the Sanskrit Kim Nara. If you would see them, you ask, are they humans? Kim Nara. So it became a Kinnara. Okay? So Garuda is a being, is the big bird upon which Vishnu is flying. Right? So he has the face of a bird, and partially of his body is like a human. That's a Kinnara. Right? And there's no genetic engineering done here. It's a species created by Brahma. From the description in this verse, Garuda appears to belong to the Kinnara planet. The inhabitants of the Kinnara planet have the same features as Garuda. Their bodily features are like those of human beings, but they have wings. Humans with wings. The great dream of earthly beings. If we were have wings, then we could fly. You know? So that is a planet where humans have wings, it says here. The word Gita Kirti indicates that the inhabitants of Kinnara Loka are very expert in singing the glories of the Lord. And guess what? When Garuda is flying, then by the flaps of his wings, he's singing. Jagadishwaraya Namastubhyam. Sounds come from his wings even. He can sing with his wings. In the Brahma Samhita it is said, Jagadanda Koti, Kotishwara Sesha Vasudhati Vibhuti Bhinnam. In each and every universe, there are different types of planets, and each planet has distinctive features. On the strength of this verse, we can understand that in Kinnara Loka, the inhabitants can fly with their wings. There are also planets known as Siddhaloka, where the inhabitants can fly without wings. Thus, each and every planet has some distinctive facilities. So, there are also planets where you can fly without wings. Hare Krishna. That's interesting, right? So when you wonder at night, what is all over there? You don't have to watch Star Trek or these kind of things. No. It is right there described here in the Bhagavatam how the different planets are inhabited. But then the problem comes, well, we have a Hubble telescope, we have so many things, we don't see these creatures. Well, you can only see them if they allow themselves to be seen. Even in this world, people don't allow them to be seen. They hide behind a wall somewhere. So these beings, they have a very high level of consciousness, and they wouldn't like to see humans from Kali Yuga because they don't have a good consciousness, so they don't want to associate with them. Just like you won't associate with drug addicts on the street. No, you want to hide away from them. The chor dakus. You don't want to associate with the bandits and the rogues like that. So similarly, our level of consciousness of greed and lust in Kali Yuga is so so intense that very saintly high beings, they avoid us. Until you are freed, they don't consider worth to associate with you. And therefore, by bhakti only, these beings can reveal themselves to you. Otherwise, you can meditate what you like, but you won't see them. You don't allow to be seen. Like that. Then, Kim Purushas. The Kim Purushas are so called because they resemble human beings. Kim Purusha, the other was Kinnara. Are they humans? And this is Kim Purusha. Are they humans or male humans? Kim Purushas. Because they resemble human beings and thus prompt the question, Kim Purusha, are they human beings? Actually, they are a race of monkeys who are most like human beings. I am Hanuman among the Kim Purushas, is what Krishna says. So Kinnara means the birds and Kim Purusha means the monkeys. And they're also another species. So we know that in Treta Yuga, they used to live on the earth planet in a place which is called now Hampi in Bharatadesha. And the cave is still there where Sugriva had his kingdom. Things have shrunken, but if you go to that area, you can find the presence that Hanuman was born there and the kingdom of Sugriva was there. So these are all Kim Purushas at that time. And they helped Ramachandra in conquering Ravana. Then Kin Devatas. The Kin Devatas are a race of human beings who are like demigods, completely free from fatigue, sweat, and bodily odor. Seeing them, one may just ask, Kim Devaha? Are they demigods? Actually, they are human beings living on another planet within the universe. So, there are more earthly planets, but the humans there, they don't have bad odor, bad breath, right? They don't have to brush their teeth. So it is like, hey, you want to go there? Better not, because you're still lethal. You can still die there. Then there is apsaras. Apsaras were churned from the milk ocean and are a class of um, um, upadevis, means like sub-devis. And they serve as dancers and society girls in heavenly planets. And there's a description here of Purvachitti. Other apsaras who are dancers are like Urvashi, Tilottama. They are all major apsaras. They serve the devatas with their sense of arts. Then Vidyadharas. The Vidyadharas are not so much described in the Bhagavatam what they are, but it indicates that they're very learned beings. And Krishna says, among the Vidyadharas, I'm Sudarshan. Then you have the Valakilyas. There are 60,000 saintly persons named Valakilyas, each the size of a thumb. So they are rishis this big. Right? They're not kabouters, but maybe they are. There is a concept of a kabouter. A kabouter is a Dutch word for a little being with a red head and a beard. And they walk with a stick. I don't know how you call them here in Germany. And they're supposed to take care of the animals. Right?
It's not maybe the same, but you know, in Ireland, you say Capricorn.
Capricorn?
Not Capricorn. We got the word, you know, what you have lots of, but in Ireland, you got the word, they are in green. They're also like about us, but they're in green, Capricorn.
They call them Capricorn?
In Ireland, it's a Capricorn.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, actually, it indicates because in all European cultures, you find that people are reporting sightings of such beings. So they might not be all the time visible, but there must be a sense of truth in there. If there are rumors, there is some core of truth in there. Not that everything is true. So yes, they might be there. And as far as I understood, their task is to take care of the animals, especially the domestic animals, like the horse is sick or this or that. They help curing that horse. These kind of tasks they have. So very small. But these Valakilyas, they are not exactly the Capricorns. It says, each the size of the thumb, who are located in front of the sun god, who offer him eloquent prayers and glorification. So as the sun is traveling on his chariot, the 60,000 Valakilyas are glorifying Surya Narayana, like that, another class of celestial beings. Then there are the Pitris. And Pitris are human beings who died on this planet in a very pious way, and they have attained the planets of the Devatas. Now, Pitrilok, the planet of the Pitris, is not just one planet. The moon planet is a Pitriloka. The planet of Indra is also a Pitriloka where Pitris live. Yamaraja's planet is also a Pitriloka. They spread all over the universe. According to your desire and credit, you can go to a certain Pitriloka. But your descendants have to do the Shraddha ceremony, offering these rice balls for you to be able to enjoy in Pitriloka, like that. So this is a Karmakanda version, and it works like that. For those who want to enjoy matter, even after death on another planet, they have to have the help of their children. And therefore such strict rules are there in the scriptures that one who doesn't have any children cannot enjoy in Swarga, right? As a Pitri, as an ancestor. And they can become angry and they can curse and they can cause troubles. Then we call it Pitri dosha, the fault of the Pitris. So you have to satisfy them. But if you're not wanting to enjoy the heavenly planets, it takes sometimes generations, because your ancestors, though you're a Vaishnava, your ancestors want to enjoy in Pitriloka. So though you're a Vaishnava, unless you satisfy them, they'll create obstacles in your bhajan, right? Then you're bound to do these rituals. But, after generations of, Vaishnavism, if nobody desires to go there anymore in the family, then you don't have to do these shraddhas anymore. Because you're not going to one of the material planets. You're going to Vaikuntha. And for that, there is no need for shraddhas and things like that. So that's another one very interesting is here. Sienas. Regarding the great eagles mentioned in this verse, it is understood there are eagles so big that they can prey on big elephants. Huge, if he flies and he sees big elephant, grabs him and flies up in the sky with an elephant, How much does an elephant weigh? Yeah, like a ton. How much flying power he has, Sienas. It says further. They fly so high that they can travel from one planet to another. Interstellar planets, traveling. They start flying in one planet and land in another. And while flying, they lay eggs that hatch into other birds while falling through the air. Right? So if you get an egg on your head, then you know where it's coming from. In Sanskrit, such eagles are called Siena. Under the present circumstances, of course, we cannot see such huge birds, but at least we know of eagles that can capture monkeys and then throw them down to kill and eat them. Similarly, it is understood that there are gigantic birds that can carry off elephants, kill them, and eat them. So I think we should stop here about the amazing things in the universe. Maybe tomorrow, tomorrow I'm going somewhere else. When I come back, we can travel more in the universe, in the universal form. Any questions or comments?
Really beautiful.
You liked it? Good. Yes.
Yes, English? English, yeah. I understand that we don't want to travel in the universe and come to
the word again.
spiritual statement that we are serving of Krishna and can serve Krishna on the level of human being.
That is true. Was Sie sagen, das ist absolutely wahr. Aber Krishna is giving here the 11th chapter, the universal form, to Arjun, right?
Yes.
So, because we are going through this chapter, we can illuminate a little bit more. The reason is there can be allurements. As you travel through the universe, you might become allured, and desires might come up that you want to stay there. Wenn die Verlangen kommt, ich wollen hier leben, nicht in Goloka, dann das ist ein Obstakel. Is that right? Obstacle?
Yes.
That's the problem with that. So it means you can save yourself if you have a lot of vision of how beautiful Krishna is, how much beautiful Shrimati Radharani is, how you can go there. Then these things won't bother you. Just like when you go for grocery buying here, there's so many allurements. Buy this, buy that, fish, meat, eggs, right? You don't care. But still you go there to get groceries, vegetables, gemüse for Krishna without being allured. So similarly, a devotee traveling through the universe, seeing all these beings, will go and preach there. My dear Kindeva, my dear Kinnara, my dear, please chant Hare Krishna. Some devotees actually think that Prabhupada didn't go back to Godhead. They say like this, that maybe Prabhupada is on a moon planet, preaching there, making an ISKCON there also, in the whole universe. Why not? You know? Why not? I would say, that's my opinion, that Prabhupada, he always said, back home, back to Godhead. He didn't say, go to another planet and preach there. No, he said back home, back to Godhead in this very lifetime. Like that. So you're right. We should be very careful. But still it's interesting. As a child, didn't you have any questions that, what is all this, mysterious space? Who lives there? Isn't it? So when I read, therefore I was so fascinated. Here I have a book which tells me everything I wanted to know about the universe. And even more what scientists can tell you, the Bhagavatam can tell you. So proud that I belong to this culture. Bharata Desha has knowledge describing extraterrestrials. And not only describing them, also describing how to go there, if you want to meet them, or how to call them. Amazing. Scientists don't have this knowledge. So I became so convinced, And guess, the biggest extraterrestrial, extraterrestrial what it means? That is outside the Aarde, outside Terra. The biggest extraterrestrial carries a flute and a peacock feather, right? You can contact him and bring him here and speak to him. His name is Yogeshwar Krishna, the biggest extraterrestrial. He's got a beautiful, extremely beautiful girlfriend. This extraterrestrial girlfriend. Her name is Sri Radha. And even her you can call. Amazing, by a way of process of just spinning around some Kralan, and they will come. Amazing, no? That's how you can call for these extraterrestrials. Any other comments or questions?
Your scientific explanation was so perfect.
You like that? You're scientists.
No, I'm not scientist, but I research on the time, the astronomical positions,
Ah,
explanations that you are just explaining. So yes, it's
the nice thing was
but then
that
Victorious removed this thing, and
yeah.
now we are researching on something else. That's the point.
Because now India has 3 times reached the moon, huh? Chandrayana missions, and now they are getting respected in the world. Otherwise, they're known to be backward country and this and that. So now even NASA is asking them questions. We have seen this and this and this in the sky. In this, you also have seen that. Okay, what is your explanation? Then they say, and they give Shastric explanations. How do you get there? Well, it's ancient knowledge. It's mentioned in the religious books already. Oh, really? Now there is a run in NASA studying these religious books because it turns out to be correct. They say, okay, they may be not correct with 14 decimals behind the comma. We say 14.1.2, 3 point this. They just say it's 14. But it's correct, right? They don't go in deep analysis because they're not dealing with enjoying that matter. Religious books don't deal with enjoying matter. They deal with the level of consciousness. What is more important there? Just like I mentioned, there is wake, there is dreaming, there is deep sleep, and there is the fourth level. They're all within you. And you as a yogi, your duty is to awaken those levels of consciousness. Travel inside. It's inward. It's not there somewhere else. You can find the real happiness within you, like so many have said, that the fourth level of consciousness is within you, right? Who you really are. We call it Swarup, your eternal form. It's right there. Go and find it. Don't waste time. You're getting old. Yes, and we're preaching how to do that all the time. I'm describing how to. Arjun.
Yeah.
Well, Arjun is saying something. He wants to see the external form. Arjun is the one who wants to see the universal form. And we are interested in wanting to see our spiritual form because we have so much seen of the universal form. Köln is universal form. The ants is universal form. The drug addicts walking in the streets are in universal form. How much more do you want to see of the universal form? When everything is dark at night, right? It's like I was giving class a few months, 2 weeks? Yeah, 2 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks ago in Holland. Is that, at night, suppose you're a little girl, you go out at night in the garden and you look up and you wonder, what's all these stars so beautiful, right? Everyone looks up. During the day, everyone looks down. And during the night, like this. But during the day, everyone's focused on the ground. But when it becomes dark on the ground and nothing is seen, everyone starts to look up and wonder, what is all there? And guess, it is a big school. We don't think in the West like this, but Bharatadesha knows the language of stars. That's the gift to the world, right? Then you wonder, what is there? Where did it come from? Maybe from among the stars, isn't it? We have a feeling, I came from somewhere there to this planet. Why did I come here? This is what the stars force you to ask. Why did you come here? Can I go back there? How will it be like that? That's why it's given. You look up, consciousness going up, upward, right? And humans are meant to go up, not stay on Earth planet, because animals are evolving into human species. The 3 animals were doorways to humanity. The lion, the cow, and the monkey. They evolve into humans. But if the humans stay here, it gets crowded like now, right? They have to go up, look in the sky, look in the stars. That's why you have to go there. And this is the process here described. You want to go to Vidyadhara, you can go there, you can go to Swarga, you can beyond, you can go to Brahmaloka, you can even go to Vaikuntha. That's why life is meant for. That everyone's looking up. But then you wonder, why did I come here in this darkness? And then you see a little firefly. And it's just like a star, on the ground, it goes up. You follow it with you. And it goes up, and it's sort of like it merges with the stars in the sky, right? A firefly. So they wonder, is it possible for me to get out of this world like a firefly and go among the stars? It is possible. But you have to learn to read time as the stars are coming up and setting, right? Time is telling you something. Each time the sun comes up, moon comes up, then it's telling you something. Time is running, right? And, be quick before everything is finished for you. Follow the process given by Prabhupada and go back to Godhead. That's time is telling you. And those who are experienced, they are called wise. Those who can read time, they consider to be wise. You see old people with gray eyebrows and gray mustache. Son, listen, I'm a wise old man. So listen from me. And then you hear what they are saying. They're always telling about their own experience. When I was young, I was like you, very passionate, wanted to conquer the world, show everyone how big and how strong is, how my chest is wide. I was doing all these exercises, to become like somebody in the world. But then, when you grow 35, the first gray hairs start. When you're 45, then you need glasses. You're 55, you get problems in your back. When you're 60, nobody cares for you. So therefore, listen to me, boy. It will happen to you also. Don't think it won't happen to you. So make the best use of a bad bargain. Chant Hare Krishna and go back to Godhead. This is an experience, yeah? It means wisdom. Wisdom means experience. And experience can come in many fields, especially regarding experience of time. Right? Some people get wise in time, old with knowledge, like that. And even in the material field, if somebody is an aged engineer, a very aged driver, then they consider him to be wise, He knows every little place of the city, every little shop, every little, corner. He's a wise old driver, right? An engineer, he knows any problem in your television. Actually, don't have a television nowadays. I'm talking old times. You could bring him. There's an engineer at the corner of the street. Anything happens to your television, he knows exactly where it is, and he fixes it, right? So you consider it to be wise. He knows. Like you don't have to tell. So wisdom comes. Okay, thank you for your attention. Grantaraj Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol.